and I just realized that you probably couldn't hear me. So this is a bit of an unusual test flight for me, because normally I actually wouldn't do it, but then I thought, yeah, well, I haven't got any other or greater ideas, so let's try. I'm not sure exactly how a thing like this works, but I'm thinking that you get up to speed, and then you create lift from the parachute. I don't know how to control it. We'll find out. If it's normal on the controller here, or if I have anything to. So here we are with the with the parachute. Looking interesting. Oh, graphics not too great. So yeah, okay, it kind of rotates. I don't think my rudder is doing anything. And I don't have a lot of instrument, right? So what do I have? Okay, battery master, that's a good idea, probably. Avionics master, but this is all the avionics I have. I don't even know. Push to intersect with the EIS screen here. Okay, I don't know what to do with this, but we can try when we get airborne. And yeah, I guess we just try to, at least the throttle. Oh, it doesn't have any brakes, I think. Or maybe it does. And yeah, as I expected, I didn't do anything to get it airborne. So, yeah. So now there's a lot of drag, of course, because you have a big parachute behind, and we are probably moving a lot faster through the air than the parachute. Oh. Ah, the parachute is up there. Okay. Okay, will it be that? Yeah, maybe. Then maybe the drag isn't that much of a problem. So now we need to find out how do we get to. Okay, so it's more or less like the controller is doing what I expected. But we are going very slow, 24, or actually, because that's nautical miles, right, 24. That's not that bad, I think. See if we can find my calculator here. Miles to kilometers, and say 24. Yeah, that's 44 kilometers per hour. So that's near as fast as we can get. So it's not that bad. Oh, there's a car down there that doesn't really know what it wants to do. Oh, two cars. They don't know what they're going to do. They are fighting or something. I don't know what way to go. And prime, that I guess is if we start the engine ourselves, but that wasn't the case. I wonder if we have somewhere to see how high we are. Let's see this one. Temperature 260. That has to be the engine, right? And we've been 4 minutes in the air. This was where we started out. We are pretty high, but there were I didn't see any altimeter, so I guess there's no. But I think we are quite high up. And probably this doesn't really react very fast. Let's get some throttle back. Okay. How about, oh, that's a trim. That actually worked. Or what? Airspeed 7. Yeah. Oh, let's get outside and see what's outside. Oh wow, great view from up here. So it doesn't quite react fast, so you need to like make the corrections in good time before you need it. But it's a nice view over the northern part of Landskrona and Wien. Now we are at a wide angle, as you can see. The image is completely distorted. So let's get to, I think this is a normal camera. So are we actually going down, or are we, I think we more or less keep the altitude. Oh, and of course we should have brought some more fuel. And this is not live weather, by the way, because it's raining outside. So that wire, what is that doing? It is actually connected to the parachute, but what does it connect to in? Because when I look, maybe no, there's no step. We have to go outside again so that I can see how the pilot actually has his feet on that one. Actually, I think I will go. I think I'll go to Zealand instead of Landskrona this time. So crossing over. I should probably have had some idea of the wind too. I don't know if there's any kind of wind instrument probably not. I don't know what that is. It must be the instrument for that engine information system, but why would it have an antenna to tell my wife that the engine is in trouble? I think I will take a little bit out of the power nut. I will be ready to add power if we go too far down. But as it is right now, it looks like we are pretty high up. So I can see half of Zealand from here too. I wonder if I have a iPad with me here. I do actually. So going over Øresund here is going to be a long way, but the range was more than 100 kilometers. And then again, the fuel is already low. Should we cheat just because it's the first time? And top it all while I'm in the air? Yeah, I think I can do that. That's cheating, I know. So we're still increasing altitude. We're at 3,700, which is 1 kilometer up in the air. Should we go here to this area and find somewhere we can land on this one, but maybe we can land on this one too. I think we can. Let's try to land on. Of course, this has some forward motion, so we need to take that into account too. And we're still going up. Oh, we're going too much. this lake we are going to form. We can take a little more off of the edging. Because I'm already preparing for the fact that we probably need to circle down to land this. Because inherently there must be a lot of lift. You saw how quickly we got off the ground. Just from that I would think the landing distance is enormous. It's not a jet, that's for sure. No, we're going a little too north. Just want to basically keep the lake in front. It's not that easy to control because there is some wind, of course. I'm trying different things with my yoke. What does this pilot have? Does he actually use? Because there's those wires there. I don't understand the wires that go down. They must necessarily be controlling the parachute from side to side. I don't think the wheel does anything in relation to flight. We can try and give it, because it could work more or less as a rudder. Doesn't do anything. Actually, it is a rudder pedal that I wonder. Yeah. So how about the handbrake? No, the handbrake doesn't do anything, but the brake pedal, which I don't have, but I have a button on my yoke that I use as brake pedal. trying to see if I can stop the vertical speed from adding to our altitude, because we don't want to go up. So here we can see all of Veen from this altitude. That's a beautiful sight. And you can see in the background the north of Landskrona, and even all of Helsingborg, and all up there we have Helsingør, Denmark. But it will be quite some time before we have crossed Øresund. So we're going 18, what is that in kilometers per hour? .33 kilometers per hour. It doesn't really look like that, to be honest. We're not passing Veen. Well, 33 kilometers per hour is more or less the speed of a 100 meters run. Tour de France cyclist uphill. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, so now the vertical speed went down, so we need to be 44. Yeah, around 45, 44 seems to be the sweet spot for not increasing too much, at least. Down there we should have been able to see the Øresund bridge, but I don't see it. But I can see it from my windows at home, so we should certainly be able to see it from here. But then again, the textures or the graphics here is kind of on demand because it's streamed. So if the game don't think that I need to see the Øresund bridge, then I won't see it. And then there we have Copenhagen, of course. Very flat island there is Saltholm. Quite a big island outside of Copenhagen. So, if we zoom out a little bit. Yeah, I do know what monk means. Maybe we have a sail in front, so right now I can't guess. I don't know how much you could actually steer the parachute if totally cut off the engine. That could be interesting too. So we will be crossing the border around here. Wien is in Sweden, actually in Landskrona. Part of Landskrona city. So let's get outside and watch the view where we can see Wien in all its glory. And down here is the Tycho Brahe Museum. The Danish astronomer that laid the basis for our current understanding of the solar system. As he didn't know, and I believe that he didn't believe that planets are orbiting the sun. He probably was in the idea that it's the Earth is in the center and everything else is orbiting. But because he made an astonishing amount of observations of the planets that he could see, then his data laid the foundation for especially Kepler and Copernicus. To deduct that Actually, the sun is the center and the planets are orbiting. A lot of that was based on Tycho Brahe's dataset. So. And when you think about it, he didn't have a telescope because Galilei didn't even exist at the time of Tycho Brahe. I remember. Maybe actually, yeah, maybe he did, but only when Tycho Brahe was old, was Galilei. The Danish king, Christian IV, was kind of a mentor, sponsor, whatever you will call it. But they ended in a feud, and he was kind of exiled from the country. He was a fierce man. He didn't take too much nonsense. So he actually lost the tip of his nose was silver in his old days because he lost the tip of his nose in a duel. So I'm pretty sure he wasn't always fun to be around. Even though we are descending, I think we should descend a little faster now we're getting closer to. Closer to the coast. But again, to kind of round off Tycho Brahe, he died in the beginning of the 1600. So I think within the first 10 years, as I remember, and not in Denmark. He was, let's say, exiled. He died in, I think in Czechoslovakia, in Prague. Probably, yeah. And if you read about Tycho Brahe, you will know that a popular myth, I would call it, is that he died from a ruptured bladder because he was at a party and in those days they drank a lot. They knew how to drink, and not water, because water wasn't actually a very good of a very good quality. So mostly they would drink beer, and I guess if you were a noble man like Tycho was, then probably wine. Some other books, and the popular myth is that he was too polite to say that he needed to go and find the bathroom. But that is a myth. The exact reason of why he died, I think, is still of some debate, but I know that some years ago they dug up his remains in Prague and took some samples from him. But I haven't read the result of that, or maybe they haven't been published. I don't know. But a popular myth too about his death is that in those times he was like a physicist, a chemist, alchemy was one of his things, astronomer and astrologist, and they basically they could everything. If you are a scientist, then you were kind of a what is called jack of all trades. So people have been speculating that he had some pain and that he wanted to treat himself, and as part of the treatment was mercury. And as you probably know, mercury is highly toxic. So that wasn't a great idea. But you know that the first emperor of China, I don't remember his name right off the top of my head, he also treated himself with mercury to get a long life, and that kind of worked against him. So that is one possibility that the result of looking for Tycho Brahe's death could be that he actually poisoned himself. Let's get outside and see again the views. We are barely over land. Probably just. There are some big parks here north of Copenhagen. I think this is Dyrehaven, which harbors the oldest entertainment park in the world, I believe. The Bakken. And then this is imitation. Harbors the old castle from 1700s. I think the Queen had that kind of summer getaway, and I'm not sure about this just underneath us, but then this would be for Thun, I think. And this is basically the most expensive land in Denmark, and down there too, just under us here, and which is kind of weird because just 150 years ago or something like that, those small, very poor fishing villages. So now we are at least bleeding some altitude, but not enough to be able to land, I think. So we can take out a little more of the engine. See if we seems to be the opposite direction of an airplane. So now I'm trying to push the yoke forward, and how to do that on this thing, I don't know. But we need to be a lot lower. At least almost 2,000 feet is pretty fine. So let's get a lot more of the engine. It's like when I trim up, the nose goes down. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but that doesn't really matter as long as we are losing altitude. And I don't think I would totally idle the engine. It doesn't idle. Right now we are basically just floating through the air. Maybe I should test it, but on the other hand, so but are we going forward actually? So it's nice that the engine sound at least has died, but I'm not sure it does say airspeed 15 knots, but are we going forward. Yeah, maybe. Still, we are 1 kilometer above ground, basically. It's Denmark doesn't really have a lot of difference in height. So let's see how that, yeah. But the propeller is of course creating drag. Well, that's fun. It actually has my call sign on the side. There's two things. I don't know if it is allowed to fly these things in Denmark or Sweden for that matter. And I'm not sure that you need a pilot's license to do it where it is allowed. Which again, if I'm right, is a little bit crazy as you can go to 10,000 feet, so I'm pretty sure you could easily be in the way of some air traffic. So we're aiming for that spot here, but we are actually going to overfly it, and then the landing should be over here. And it doesn't really seem realistic that we can bleed off that much altitude before we're there. So probably need to go around in some way. And for that it would be nice, of course, to know the general wind direction. So I'm pushing very hard on the yoke, and that helped at least. Probably shouldn't go faster than this, then we'll rip the parachute apart. So let's get a little over here. As you can see, it's the one I'm aiming for will be this one that we are going to land on. So if we go towards the lake here, and then we need to basically take at least 2,000 feet out of our altitude, and we are going down very fast. Let's see what the parachute looks fine on. Maybe we could continue that. Okay, so 40 is too much, but 37 is fine, apparently. So where's our spot there? So it looks like we actually are going to get down on this patch and not reach all the way over there, or what? Can I get it to? Nah. So that's the thing, you want to go down and but of course you want to have enough height to actually be able to land. So I think we have to land on this, which is actually also okay. I think we can do that. So let's get around here. We can hear the birds and the trees, that's fine. Whoa, that was too fast, but well, there's a lot of trees and here's the water. So maybe I should brake before we drown. Can we go around? Yeah, well. Well, luckily this is in the summer, so here we are. Let's get out and wade into land. Luckily not that deep. Oh, we can walk on water. Oh, that's good. Oops. Oops. And hopla. Well, there's quite some distance to walk, so I'm not going to walk all the way. Let's get the drone up in the air and see where we are. I want to see the plane. So yeah, this was first time, and that was very obvious that that is not something I have done a lot. It was fun. It was very, very slow, but it was fun. But actually it took an hour to cross Øresund. I didn't count on that. And I didn't count on landing in the water either. I actually, at the end when we got over the lake in the beginning, I actually thought that I had this, but obviously not, because the plane is out there. Whatever you're doing, I hope that you are having fun doing it. Bye bye.